Very good morning, everyone. Yes. So, welcome to Bangalore and welcome to Insights IAS. So, you are about to start a new journey. It's totally new kind of journey for you from here onwards, from today onwards. But before you start this journey, especially in this session, I would like to give you almost near perfect clarity about what you are about to face. What are the hardships that you are about to undergo in coming days and months? Without having that clarity, if you just plunge into this UPSC preparation, usually people get lost, usually people get distracted, sometimes get demotivated, and then they quit also. So for that, the perfect way to start journey is always to know what is you are about to face or start, embark, right? So how many of you have started preparing for the examination before coming to insights? Good. So I see few hands. Now I will further split the question or simplify the question. When I say that how many of you started, what did you start with? Did you read NCRTs or NCRTs? Okay, how many of you finished NCRTs? Okay. What about newspaper reading? How many of you started newspaper reading 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 year ago? That's very good. 1 month ago? Many of you, right? And maybe some of you are still thinking, from tomorrow I will start, right? So we have such kind of students also. They want to start only when the class starts. Last Sunday in the UPSC realm, the UPSC realm andre no, in the UPSC world, something happened. What happened? Huh? What? Prelims happened, we know. Prelims happened, everybody knows. So in prelims, what happened? Question paper was very difficult and pattern was changed, unconventional. Good. It was difficult, unconventional, unpredictable. So these are the words, starting with U. You can go on adding them to the UPSC. And I'm also very sure that everyone hasn't seen the question paper. You might have seen few questions and then closed it hmm? Right. So I don't think we have analyzed the question paper. I don't think we have seen the question paper completely. Even if you have seen out of curiosity, it would have looked totally strange, totally out of the world for you. Right? Maybe some words here and there would have looked familiar. Some keywords here and there, like parliament, Article 13, right? Rig Veda, UPI, quantum, some words here and there would have looked familiar, especially for those who are reading newspapers for 1 year. So otherwise, the paper looked something like, as you said, unconventional, and the people who actually wrote the exam and who checked answer keys, they are saying that uh, they are scoring very low compared to 25 preliminary examination performance. They are scoring very low, significantly low marks. Those who are scoring 110, they are reporting they are scoring around 85 to 90, right? And those who didn't give examination 26, so they are partying, here and there. They think that they are lucky that they didn't give the examination, and you people are also very lucky that you didn't give the examination. So while I am speaking all of these, maybe something is going on in your mind that hmm, is already scaring us, right? No, if somebody sitting in this room by chance, by luck, not luck, by chance, if you have seen one of my orientations in the past, for the past batches, how many of you have seen? Anyone? You? 1, 2, 3. 3 to 4 people have seen that. One of the, not one of the many things that I would emphasize in all my orientations is to build strong foundation that is centered around strong newspaper reading habit. Secondly, reading other books, fiction and non-fiction books. In all my orientations, I have emphasized strong newspaper reading plus reading other books, developing interest in other books like fiction, non-fiction, philosophy, right? Psychology books, books related to general economics, development, democracy, books related to poverty, books related to broader themes like terrorism, defense technologies, artificial intelligence. So I have been recommending that at least to develop 3 broader interest and continue to read books. I have a target of 15 to 20 books in a year. So in all my orientations, I have talked about it. In addition to strong newspaper reading habit and reading books, another thing I used to emphasize is start blogging, develop writing habit, right? Writing skills. So writing skills is the most important skill in this examination. Now, when we say newspaper reading, reading other books, and writing skill, all these 3 combined together, they will help you develop strong analytical and critical thinking skills. These 2 are extremely important, and in the UPSC notification, right, when we start, when we go to the page where the syllabus starts, after the preliminary syllabus, there is this mains examination, and then there is a paragraph where they have, in a bold way, have emphasized about the analytical ability, right? The entire scheme of examination is intended to test your analytical ability. Now, we keep emphasizing this. So in this room, when you are sitting here, when you come to our classroom, we keep doing that. But the problem is with the technology, is with access to technology, easy access to technology. So there what happens, the moment you go from here to the outside world, to your comfort zone, the moment you open, the Telegram channel, YouTube, other recommendations, reels, what happens? There is a superficial world, shortcuts, completely processed, filtered content, right? So that is sold as ultimate medicine or remedy for you, right? So it is recommended trying to convince you that you go through this much, right? For this topic this much, for this subject this much, my videos, my notes. People stopped reading original textbooks. People stopped reading newspapers, right? The UPSC exam, when I see, from the UPSC perspective, the demand is very clear. What UPSC wants from you is very clear. It hasn't changed at all. It is there in the notification. It is there in bold. So there are many other keywords. When it comes to interview paragraph, it says that critical powers of assimilation, they want to test in the interview, right? Clear and logical exposition, they want to test that skill, right? It is just that you aspirant and then on the top UPSC, in between all mentors, coaching institutions. So what they started doing was, because the technology also entered, they started giving you quick fixes, right? Cheat codes for prelims, tricks for prelims, all the shortcuts. So my request in this session, in the very beginning, I am requesting you never go for shortcuts. If you want to succeed in this examination, if you want to crack this examination in 1 or 2 attempts, the first 1 year has to be such that minimum 14 hours of effort is non-negotiable, is compulsory. 14 hours of effort. It is non-negotiable. And in those 14 hours of effort, 4 to 5 hours must be spent analyzing newspapers in depth. Read each and every news article, each and every opinion, each and every editorial without missing any of them in the beginning. Don't even filter crime news. There can be a chain snatch, there can be a murder, there can be some crime news, that happens in the cities. Sports news in the end related to badminton, chess, table tennis, squash, right? Cricket we see, everybody knows Vaibhav Suryavanshi scored 97 yesterday. He broke Chris Gale's record. He should have scored 100, right? So he scored 97 in how many balls? Huh? How many balls? 20? Not 29, 28. 29th ball he got out. Right, 29th ball, if he had hit 6, he would have broken the record of who? See, you know this, right? So all of you know this because the entire Indian society knows this. I mean, we are so much passionate about cricket, so everyone knows about it. Can you show equal interest in the same? Today I brought the Hindu newspaper. So there are so many news about, so many things, right? So if you just glance through newspaper, the diversity of news, right, ranging from art, culture, science, technology to geopolitical news to economic news to geoeconomics to sports, the range pretty much covers. The front page is all about Indian polity today. The news, it is about today's news, today's headlines, front page. Huh? Excellent, very good. SIR, Special Intensive Revision. So what is the news about? Today's headline. In all the paper it is there. In Prajavani it is there. The Hindu it is there. Indian Express it is there. Live Mint, if you open even Business Daily, that is also. It is boldly there. What is the news related to Indian polity? Yeah, she actually correctly answered. It is about SIR. But what is it about SIR? Very good. So the Supreme Court yesterday has judged, right, given conclusive verdict that SIR, which is being conducted, carried on by the Election Commission of India, is its constitutional duty. Article 324, it's a constitutional duty of the Election Commission of India. It has the integrity of the election is not merely conducting elections in a fair way. The mechanics of election, right? The integrity of election is also about integrity of electoral rolls, right? Electoral rolls where our and your names are there. And electoral rolls has the names of only the citizens of India. Should have only the names of the citizens of India. So Election Commission, it is its bound duty to cleanse it, right? How it does, it is up to Election Commission again. So you have judiciary, right? You have Election Commission, and then there is another. There are two acts mentioned: Representation of People Act, Section 21 or 22, I think 21. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು you shift that so that those people who are coming they can sit. So there are two acts mentioned: Representation of People Act, and then there is Citizenship Act. So Supreme Court has said that, right? So if there are any discrepancies, the Election Commission of India should send the list of deleted names to the Union government, and it should constitute a competent body under the Citizenship Act, right? So in one page, like in the front page, even before you were introduced to formal polity classes, right? So you were introduced to the core aspects of the syllabus, UPSC syllabus, right? Constitution, what is constitutional, what is unconstitutional, right? What is right and what is not right in terms of rights, right? Fundamental rights. And in terms, because somebody has gone, then no, it infringes my right, it is unconstitutional, right? And then hidden in the paper, like if you just open after like few pages, there is a small article about transgender bill, right? It's about transgender bill. So in 2006, the government has come up with a transgender bill that the right to self-identify that I am a transgender is not there in the act, right? So somebody has gone that the law says that somebody has to determine whether the individual is transgender or not, right? So somebody has gone to the Supreme Court citing that it infringes my right to self-identity or self-identification. You're getting the point. So now you have come to Bangalore, you have come to Insights AS, and some of you started reading paper, some of you haven't started, some of you have started recently. It doesn't matter when, how you are going to start. From day one, be curious. When I say be curious, the curiosity means staying ahead of the curve, staying ahead of the competition from this perspective, the meaning of curiosity here. In general, the meaning of curiosity is, right, keeping an open mind, right, loving what you are doing, trying to, empowering yourself, trying to understand the world. So that curiosity should never die in this examination. Ensure that from day one to till you go to the interview, and then after also the curiosity should be there. But the curiosity dies down eventually here. Everything becomes mechanical. Because when I say that 4 to 5 hours you have to read newspaper, so you open the newspaper and the first, because you don't know about Citizenship Act, don't completely dig into Citizenship Act. Right? You don't have to read each and every sentence, word in the Citizenship Act. Just know what it is, when was it introduced, what is the intention of it, how it is, what part of the constitution it is related to. Just like 4 to 5 points to develop a small understanding about it, what it is, so that when again you hear about it, you instantly know what it is, right? And then Representation of People Act, it is there in the syllabus, the exact words that is there in the syllabus, it is directly related to syllabus. Now you should be know which section of that act it is mentioned in the newspaper. Open the act, open the bare act, right? See what it is, and be little more curious to see other sections also. You don't have to remember, but be curious to see them, what they are. And some people complain that it is time consuming, right? It is time consuming. So what I do, I go for shortcuts. So I go to monthly compilation, right? I won't read newspapers on a daily basis because there are monthly compilations, monthly magazines available. These monthly magazines of institutions, they are meant for revision purpose, right? So every day you read newspaper, you make notes, you understand. In the end, because you cannot again take up all your notes, all your newspapers, cuttings and everything, right? You have to revise them on a daily, weekly basis. But month end, there is this compilation which comes handy for you to revise. When you revise the month end, the compilation, the monthly compilation, it is not totally different from what we have done throughout the month. It just reinforces your knowledge. So anybody who recommends you that don't read newspapers, read only monthly compilation, make enemy out of them, right? Scold them. Stay away from those people if you want to crack this examination. And when we were preparing, right, I used to read 2 newspapers, the Hindu and Business Standard, and then shifted to Live Mint, right? When we were preparing, and even after preparation, we have continued to read the Hindu every day, not to come here and teach you. It is personal passion. It has become a hobby, like habit, not even hobby, it's a habit, right? You brush your teeth, you clean yourself, and then you come. The very first thing you do is take up newspaper and read newspaper, right? You have to develop that kind of habit. So I was discussing with some students, when do you read newspaper? Sometime I read in the morning, sometime I read in the evening, sometime I read in the afternoon, sometime I don't read the newspaper, right? No. At any point of your day, you have 24 hours, sleep for 8 hours, you are still left with 16 hours, right? 2 to 3 hours for all your food, walking, coming here and going there, right? Still you are left with 13 to 14 hours. So fix a slot in your day, 4 to 5 hours only for newspaper reading, right? It is not merely reading. Now if you have closely observed the vocabulary in the notification, they don't mention the word general knowledge, right, or general reading. It is general studies, right? And then general awareness. Have you observed these words? So see, these are so obvious, they look so obvious, right? But that is how it has become. Because it looks obvious, it has become superficial, surface level, everything. We just bypass them, we just ignore them. It shouldn't be the case. Studies, you have to actually study the newspaper on a daily basis. Just the way you study a chapter from a standard textbook, this is non-negotiable and a fundamental activity that you must carry on every day, irrespective of whether you have other exams, whether you have UPSC exam on the day of prelims, one day before the prelims, till one day before the prelims, immediately next day of the prelims. The people who have given prelims haven't touched the newspaper, right? I'm pretty sure those who have given prelims, they are yet to read the newspaper, right? And they will wait till the result. I think around June 10th, the result will be out, right? Around June 10th or June 9th, prelims result will be out. So nowadays they are announcing the result within 15 days, right? So till then they don't read. And if they don't clear prelims, again, next till January, February, no newspaper reading. It should not happen in your case, right? Promise yourself, make it, a rule for yourself that no matter what is going to happen in and around me, in my life, whichever exam, newspaper is something that I am not going to miss any day, right? And when you take up the newspaper, we are going to conduct a separate class also, how to read newspapers, right? And the Hindu is something that we recommend everyone, to compulsorily read the newspaper. And in addition to the Hindu newspaper, my personal suggestion for those who are ambitious, that those who want to crack this examination in one attempt, right? In addition to the Hindu newspaper, I want you to start reading one business daily every day. It can be Business Standard, Economic Times, Live Mint, or Business Line. There are 4 newspapers: Economic Times, Business Standard, Business Line, or Live Mint. So my favorite is Live Mint because it analytically covers most of the important issues, especially geopolitical issues, right? Economic issues, technology related issues, so comprehensively, right? People will tell you the Hindu and Indian Express. Indian Express, see editorials from other newspapers on the same day. Selectively you can read. For example, it might have covered some, today there is one article about something called CABM, right? Carbon Adjusted Border Management Mechanism, Carbon Adjusted Border Mechanism, something like that. CBAM, Carbon Border Adjusted Mechanism, something related to carbon trade. You have read that article, very good. So it's the second article in the editorial. So I'll just show you. So here it is, tariffs to carbon, the new rules shaping India's trade, right? So this is about climate change, this is about global trade, this is about India's trade relationship with European Union and India, right? And also it's about technology transfer, it's about clean technologies. There are so many keywords there within this one particular article, and there are concepts also, right? What is Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, CBAM? So it was introduced in July 21, but it started from January 2026. It is enforced. So what it is? So what were the previous carbon trade related jargons, the vocabulary? What is the meaning of carbon credit, carbon trading, carbon stock exchanges? So you have, the article says this much. You have to be little more curious just to see what are the other vocabulary. That is how, if I want to frame a preliminary, uh, you know, objective questions, one question on this particular. So I won't just pick up things directly from here. I would like to test your background knowledge of that particular concept, right? And whether you are curious or not. So that also, it has technological angle, economic angle, geopolitical angle. In other newspaper, it may not be there today, but some other issue will be there in editorial part. So it's okay to read multiple editorials. Now, why you must not miss this? So it is called as editorial, the Hindu editorial. In the bold, they have written. So the two articles to the right, this one, the top and bottom articles, they are the editorial. The Hindu editorial board, they sit and come to certain, they have opinion, and then they sit, discuss, and they want to express their opinion in a very informed, logical way to the public about particular national issue or sometimes state issue. So the first one is about TVK, right? TVK is poaching AIDMK MLAs. So 4 AIDMK MLAs have resigned, and now they will go through by-election, right? It is by-election, BUY, not BY, by-election. And basically TVK has kind of forced them to, lured them, attracted them. You resign, and then we are running the state, we have huge resources, we will fund your election, you again go through by-election, right? You are troubling the people, people have to come again to the polling booth. And then these 4 people will form the part of the government. So they don't have absolute majority, so they need more numbers. So to avoid any kind of instability, so they are buying. So it is similar to Operation Lotus, Operation Kamala Antandu, they have opined, that is the opinion. And in the last line in this article, they have written that there should be cooling off period, right? What is the cooling off period? If somebody resigns, right, there should be cooling off period before that by-election happens, right? There should be like 6 months or 1 year, so that they don't go immediately and become part of the government. So you can do with others, opposition parties, keep buying them, force them to resign, conduct by-election, keep adding them because you have huge resources, right? So the second one is about partial digitization. The below article, it's about we are so proud as a country that we started IT revolution in India, services revolution. We started with UPI. We started with Aadhaar. All online services are available, but you people are victims of so-called speedy, fast online services, right? Sometimes you are not able to get the desired services on time because of the glitches. So it is saying that it is directly part of the syllabus in the second article. The first one is also related to Indian polity in terms of defections, right? That is also related to Representation of People Act. The second one, the digitization part, is related to governance, GS2, mains. But they have given a word here, digital public infrastructure. So this was a direct question in the preliminary examination last Sunday. Digital public infrastructure. There was a question on digital public infrastructure. So if you trace back most of the current affairs questions in the recent preliminary examination, we can trace back them to this newspaper, any business daily, and most of the editorials. Only if you are consistent with them from now to till the examination, you will be able to gain the depth, right? From its roots to all kinds of its dimensions, the branches. You'll be able to make sense of the story. You don't have to even revise, right? It will be there subconsciously because you have followed the story from its inception, from its beginning, right? So most of the stories have roots, going back to many years, all of these. But as you keep reading, the newspaper merely won't give what is happening today. They give context also. Whenever they post article, editorial, they give the context. Out of nowhere, they won't publish anything. They give context. Context is nothing but sandarbha, the history, right? Why the reasons why it is in the news. They will also give, so you will get many contexts. All contexts add up and you know the background also. But if you give up reading on this, when you selectively take, see, the students would come and tell us that, Insights Current Affairs is bulky. We would post 150 to 200 bulky current affair magazine because we would cover all current affairs exhaustively. And then they would come and compare. Other institution has only 90 pages, right? We want short 90 pages current affairs. And all our content team would come and tell me that, we also should come up with 90-page current affairs. I was like, why should we filter, right? And daily current affairs, what we are posting, again for your revision only, right? So that is mainly from the examination. So you read, you understand, you make notes, and then you come to our current affairs, quickly glance through. It will take hardly half an hour for you, right? Before you go to sleep, you glance through. And then we have a wonderful initiative that is current affairs quiz. That is a hidden gem in our website. Most of the serious aspirants are aware about it, right? But those who freshers, they get carried away. They have this innate fear of solving a question in the beginning. So never ever miss out Insights IAS quiz. In fact, yesterday, our team who creates all these quizzes, they actually came and were telling me that last 2 years, around 20 questions from the quiz, right? Earlier it was like 60, 70 questions. Now 20 questions out of 35, 40 current affairs, you can directly trace back to the quiz questions. And the quiz questions are nothing but from that day's editorials and news articles, right? So you trace them back to again newspaper. So in between we created a quiz for you on the same issue. So people who missed out quiz only focused on, monthly compilations. So you missed the very foundation of this preparation, right? So instead of strengthening, creating the very foundation, you are like, floating superficially, going with all the easy resources, shortcuts. In your case, please don't let it happen. The examination definitely was difficult, but there are 12 to 30,000 people who will definitely clear. And these people will be having a strong newspaper reading habit, not just for 1 or 2 years, for many years. Will have diverse reading habit, right? They'll be very keen on learning things, right? Technology, it is there in the syllabus. It is there, like robotics, nanotechnology, computers, space technology. These 4 things are there in the general studies paper 3. How many of you are aware about robotics? I just want to ask you. Okay, can you name any the world's leading robot companies today? This is space company. I'm asking specifically robotics, that to humanoid robots. When I say humanoid robot, a robot like me, they have created robot like me which can hold mic exactly like this, with thumb mouse like this. It's called dexterity, right? The hand movements we can make, the finger movements. That was the most trickiest part for robots. Since the advent of AI, they have figured out and they have mastered this mechanical aspect of the robot. And then, of course, it is integrated with AI. They are very intelligent. Which are the leading companies? The word robotics is there in the syllabus. When we say robotics, it's not just humanoid robots. The application of robot is there in every industry, right? They were not looking like humans. Like car industry is totally mechanized, automated. Have you heard of something called dark factory? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ? What is a dark factory? No, nobody has heard. So again, it is directly related to paper 3, GS 3, and also it is related to paper 2 in terms of social justice, labor laws. Dark factory is a factory where humans are not needed anymore. The human intervention, forget about it, human presence, right? It's a factory totally run by robots, automation, and sensors. Why it is called dark factory? When it is all run by sensors, you don't need light. You don't have to see anything. It is all run by. Do machines need light to see things? Hmm? Do they need? No, they don't need, right? So in China, Xiaomi mobile phone, you know, right? Xiaomi. The spelling is something, they pronounced as Xiaomi, right? From beginning to end, the entire manufacturing of the smartphone is in this dark factory, right? BYD, BYD, it's a, what is it? Huh? Electric car. End to end, manufactured in dark factory, and Hyundai, they say Hyundai in the advertisement. It's Hyundai or Hyundai, right? So even that they are also going for these dark factories. No humans required. From first part to the completely, you know, the last polished unit, dark factories, right? And it is acceptable that you don't know because you're starting today. When I'm doing mock interviews, I'm doing mock interviews for KPSC, you know, those are cleared means they're coming and giving mock interviews. And I did mock interviews for in December for UPSC civil services. Even they don't know. The reason is that you don't have curiosity. You know, you wait till the month end for a compilation. You miss out on all the news and developments that are happening around the world. When it comes to robotics, of course, Optimus, Elon Musk's, right? There is one company, Figure, and Boston Dynamics. Boston Dynamics is a pioneer in robotics, right? So you might have seen a dog-like walking robot recently in IPL. So it was first created by Boston Dynamics. Now all of them have created more human-like humanoid robots. And remember these words, in another 1 or 2 years, you will see lots of news regarding humanoid robots, right? By this year end, Optimus humanoid robot manufactured by Elon Musk's Tesla. Tesla is the parent company. So they are going to be shipped across the world. For what purpose? Why do you need humanoid robot? Hmm? Why do you need like human-like robot? Huh? He has the target of producing million of them. Now he has produced around 10,000. They are in his factory. So he had this Model S, the Tesla car. So he dismantled the car factory and it is converted into robot manufacturing part. Yeah, you were telling something. Why are they needed? Huh? Services. Okay. Good, very good. So if you go to garments factory, right? Or if you go to factory where you know the manual work is very much core part of it, to segregate stuff, you know, to sew something or whatever it is. Recently, the company Figure put a robot on a live cam. A human would last, I don't know, I'm not very sure, like maybe like, you know, 14 to 15 hours continuously standing and segregating the parcels, right? The parcels would just roll down something and they would, you know, segregate maybe address wise or whatever it is. And they made a robot stand. It continuously stood there for, I think, 300 or 400 hours without taking urine break, without taking lunch break, no breakfast, nothing. It stood there, right? It segregated and it was not getting tired only, right? It was there. And it's not a mere mechanical. If you ask a question about, let us say, what is Immanuel Kant's philosophy, it will actually explain that also. Right? It will also explain Gandhian philosophy of truth and non-violence. You ask the same robot, it will explain that also and do the work also. They're not ordinary robots. They're not like unintelligent, dumb robots, just doing mechanical stuff. Getting the point? In all the garments factory, all humans will be replaced in another 2 years, right? In another 5-10 years, 50-60% of the doctors will be replaced, right? This is not science fiction anymore. This is happening. There is one company called Anthropic. You might have heard, right? Anthropic, Claude, right? This year there was news question about large language model. And I remember in 2025-24, in one of the mock interview, I had asked the exact question. What is the, he was from IIT Bombay and had mathematics optional. And out of curiosity, I had asked him. He had also worked in Microsoft and he had resigned and come for the interview. I asked him out of curiosity that what kind of mathematical models dictate or drive, these large language models. You're a mathematics optional student and you are from IIT, you worked in Microsoft, that in AI. What is the mathematics behind large language model? And in 26, it was there in the preliminary question paper. So we keep hearing LLM, large language model. It is nothing but Claude, Anthropic, or Gemini, or Chat GPT. There are so many, right? So we are not curious enough to check, okay, what is this? Why it is called large language? First, in the first place, why the word language? If it is filtering everything and giving opinion, giving the analytical stuff, there must be some mathematics behind it, behind those algorithms. What is the mathematics? Is it linear algebra? Is it something? I don't know. What it is? You don't have to know the calculation or anything. You should just know what it is, right? So the UPSC is trying to test. So I was referring to Anthropic. The reason we were talking about jobs is the CEO of Anthropic. His name is Dario Amadei. You listen to his podcast, right? Dario Amodei, Dario Amodei, and there is another Demis Hassabis, Demis. He is the CEO of Google's DeepMind, right? Now you might have come here from history, economics, and polity background, commerce background, medical background, agriculture, BSc agriculture, horticulture. Now don't restrict yourself to those domains. Develop interest in technology, listen to these podcasts. So he was telling 50% of the white collar jobs. White collar job is what we call group A, class 1 jobs. They will be wiped out by this year end or next year end. The world is changing. So you are buying humanoid robot, it is coming into your home to assist your elderly mother or father, or somebody is sick, right? It can lift them, it can take them to washroom, it can clean, you can bring them back. You don't need human nurse, right? Hospitals will replace nurses. They will bring all these. He says that he wants to produce one such humanoid robot, Elon Musk, less than $20,000. When every company starts producing them, the price will be equivalent to your smartphone, right? The current smartphone. You will see that in another few years, instead of dogs, you will have robotic dogs, robotic pets. A new industry will come, fashion industry for robots. Right? This is my imagination. New fashion industry for robots, because you have a pet robot and you want to have separate dress for it, right? You have to dress it. It cannot be naked. I mean, that will also become sin, privacy for robots, right? And then people who are lonely, they want to have a robotic companion, right? Live in relationship with. That will come. I mean, these are not science fiction anymore. In 5-10 years, of course, not immediately, but in another 5-10 years, you will see. So you link it to Indian society, sociological theories, and new privacy laws, coexistence of robots with humans, new laws, new regulations, right? Should they be allowed to sit in the park? Because when they are seeing, they are not merely seeing, right? What are they doing? Huh? They are sending data to all the big data centers that governments are keen on, to give free land, free water, free energy, and establish, right? To make them more superior, to make these companies control everything. So now, of course, I started talking about this. The reason is that I'm not UPSC aspirant. I'm just curious about all these things. I keep reading about it. Similarly, I can talk about Egyptian civilization, Harappan civilization, the latest excavations, right? It is out of interest. Regarding literature, philosophy, out of interest. So if you can develop all these interest as an aspirant, it is not deviation from your syllabus, right? It is the best distraction you can have in your preparation. Learning little philosophy, psychology, digging deeper into art and culture, right? Watching podcasts on art and culture. So today I was just coming suddenly in Insta Reel, Padma Awards handle, one video from Padma Awards handle came. I just opened Padma Awards and it has wonderful stories. Padma Awards, right? You have stories from every background, right? Arts, crafts. Yesterday I was seeing a video, a puppeteer, 94-year-old woman, right? I forgot her name. So she was honored by the President of India. The President of India walked down from her chair towards this elderly lady, and she awarded Padma Award. She's a puppeteer, ತೊದಲು ಎಂಥದ್ದು ತೊದಲು ಗೊಂಬೆ ಆಟ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕೈ ಗೊಂಬೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತಿರೋ ಗೊಂಬೆ ಆಟ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕುಣಿಸ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಂ ಏನೋ ಹಾಂ ಕೋಲ್ ಗೊಂಬೆ, ಹಾಂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ತೊಗಲು ಗೊಂಬೆ ಆಟ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ತೊಗಲೋದಂದರೆ ಈಗ ತೊಗಲು ಹಾಕಿರೋದಲ್ಲ, ತೊಗಲು ಗೊಂಬೆ ಆಟ. ಸೊ ಆ ಅಜ್ಜಿ, ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್. So if you're interested in art and culture, you will link, it is there, in the art and culture syllabus, it is there, performing arts, visual arts. So performing arts is Togulugombe art. It is a traditional art of India. Which part of India, how it evolved, right? How it is related to folk culture, something like this. Your best learning actually happens outside the classroom, when you are curious and when you are sitting with the newspaper. Everything I am telling is not something out of syllabus, not something out of the world. It is all there in the newspaper. So in the beginning, read only one newspaper. Don't immediately buy 2 newspapers. Like after 2 or 3 months, start buying another newspaper. Right? And you will start seeing facing the pressure, like classes and lots of newspapers. Though we might conduct you 2 classes, right? You attend only 1 class if you want, right? If you see the time crunch. So in the very beginning, don't add everything to your preparation like optional, right? So go slowly and steadily. When I say slowly, not in terms of less number of hours. Take your own time to understand, right? Without understanding, without perfecting the concept, don't move to another concept, another topic. And Insights IAS, what we do as part of the OGP. So in fact, every faculty at Insights IAS will encourage you to do this kind of preparation and read books. So we have that analytical thinking is at the core of our programs, our guidance. Without developing that, I will never see original essay from you. What you will be writing is essay that is a collection of random quotes, collection of random examples taken from UPSC toppers copies, right? They don't even care to read some original stuff. So without developing that, you are not in the race, especially in the mains examination, because the mains examination, if you have seen the trend of the UPSC mains examination, the marks of the All India rank 1 or highest marks scorer in mains, it is around 863 out of 1750. It is around 863 out of 1750. Highest marks and the cutoff marks, it is 729 for general category. So 729 to 863, right? I am talking about general category, right? It is again further 15-20 marks lower for OBC, 30-40 lower for SC/ST. If you take that range, right, it comes around how many marks? Around 130, right? It comes around 130, right? The cutoff. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Hmm? When I say mains cutoff, to be eligible to give UPSC interview. When you write mains out of 1750, you have to score 729 plus to give UPSC interview. 729 plus. But some people have scored 863. So they are in top 10, top 20. Plus interview score, maybe 190, 200. Earlier, the highest marks in mains used to be 960s, 970s. When I say earlier, 5 years ago. It came down to 920, 900, 899, 869. It is 863 now. I don't think it will go up. What could be the reasons? Why people are unable to score very good marks in mains examination? Competition is tough. I don't think so. Answer writing, everybody does answer writing practice nowadays. Or don't do. Don't do. Even if they do, lacks quality. Then? Very good. Analytical thinking. See, there are two things, analytical thinking, critical thinking. That should be evident in your answers and essays. And they have brought it to prelims also. Analytical thinking. So decision making questions are there. Some questions you cannot merely eliminate. You have to analyze. Right. Now what is the meaning of analytical thinking and critical thinking? What do you mean by analytical thinking? What do you understand by critical thinking? So nobody knows. You can take a guess, you can try. You are saying after analyzing something, I'm asking what is analyzing? We'll come to conclusion after analysis. No, what is analysis? How to approach a problem, okay? Understanding the concept. Okay. Analysis, you are partially right. When we say, ask you to analyze something, right? Let us say, analyze maybe US-Iran war, or maybe analyze what happened in Tamil Nadu, right? Why Vijay was able to emerge as the winner, right? Largest party. If I ask you to why, it starts with why, and then I will ask you to analyze. When we ask you to analyze, you break the issue into parts first. Analysis includes breaking any issue into parts, components. Now, what are the components? The components can be many things depending on the issue, right? Once you break them into parts, we have to examine those parts. What they are, what is the nature of them, right? If I ask you to analyze the Tamil Nadu election, now the components would be what? What are the parts that you want to put together and then analyze? It's Vijay is also a component, right? Again, there are subparts to Vijay. He is a movie star. He came as a politician. He did some social work. There are parts, right? And there are other political parties, their performance, right? Their nature of leadership. And then the society is a part. Within society, Gen Z is a part and older generation is a part, right? So, and then there are new players. So many things. There are parts. So, first what you see is the parts. When you want to analyze, you don't see it as a block. You see the constituent parts, the components, and then you examine them, the nature of them, right? And then you interlink them, right? Interlink and then you know the how part of it, why part of it. All this constitutes analysis, right? Now, the critical thinking part is your opinion, the next part, right? Now, without analysis, you go, your opinion is the general opinion. What everyone says, you will accept it, and that becomes your opinion, right? Because you're not analyzing. So, that lacks the critical thinking part. Critical thinking is developing objective opinion based on your judgment of what is right and wrong, right? That is the critical thinking part. You are not saying anything on its face value. You are questioning, right? Analyzing, and then seeing whether it is right or wrong, finding out the reasons for why it is right and why it is wrong, and then arriving at opinion. That is the critical thinking. If you develop these two parts, analytical thinking, critical thinking, you are in the 0.05% of the competition, right? And it cannot be developed without reading editorials, not just the newspaper, especially editorials. Editorial is also called opinion page. Many people have many opinion, right, on many issues. SIR, the Supreme Court has said that it is constitutional. Now, Congress party, Jairam Ramesh, in the same paper it is there. No, the Supreme Court is wrong. It is still unconstitutional. That is the Congress party opinion. Now, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you will see from some individual from the Congress party posting an editorial, not editorial, opinion article in the Hindu or Indian Express or somewhere, analyzing why Supreme Court is wrong. Getting the point? Now, somebody will also post why Supreme Court is right. You have to read that article, you have to read this article, this editorial, and then arrive at your own opinion. That is the critical thinking part, right? Just because something is more convincing, you are not merely going with it, right? So, you develop formulating opinion. We say informed opinion. That is also part of the UPSC preparation. In the end, when you go to UPSC, for what? Giving interview after clearing mains. This is what will be tested, right? Anybody who has the ability to analyze, has developed opinions, will give a better performance. They will be very confident. They will have clarity of thoughts, ideas, right? Depth and diversity they would have developed, and 200 plus. This year they have given 220 or 225, I think, to one lady. She's in top 50. 215 was the highest marks given in interview so far. She is given more than 220. And I believe she is something extraordinary. I haven't met her, I don't know. Wish I could take her mock interview. I took the mock interview of All India Rank 8 this year. He has scored 198 or something. This year, Palash, All India Rank 8. But she got, I don't know who she is, must be extraordinary in terms of, depth, in terms of clarity, communication skills, personality, right? So when some people walk, we know that, they have something original, something, they have developed individuality, strong individuality. So their presence will be felt wherever they are. You have to become like that when you come to Bengaluru, right? Not merely stuck in your cabin, just reading, interact, attend events in Bengaluru, right? Literary events, cultural events. In Bengaluru, these things keep happening. Seminars in IAS, right? Go and attend them, now and then. Interact with the people. So you will develop original ideas and thoughts. Don't be a mere spectator, passive learner, right? So you have to become a very active, enthusiastic, curious learner. Then only, this examination can be cracked in 1 or 2 attempts. So don't treat what we teach in classroom itself as an end or as a burden, right? You'll feel like, there is so much to complete in a day. Put extra hours, right? So when you don't understand something, go back to standard textbook, right? Our teachers will ensure that every core subject is actually dealt very well, taught very well conceptually. But the concepts which we teach in the classroom, right? We teach the very basics and also advanced. Lots of, like RPA Act will give you, like Manjunath sir will give you 3 to 4 page notes. till today, whatever is updated, right? But don't treat it as an end. You have to keep updating it. You have to keep applying those concepts, right? So then only you are in the competition of top 0.5% or 1%. So we try to do all of them combined together, especially both in the classroom, and there are daily answer rating, weekly test and monthly test. One subject is completed. In other institutions in Delhi where people come back, people are not aware about this particular what we do here. So for example, I heard somebody from who came back from Wajiran. They teach one or two subject in the beginning, right? Today geography, tomorrow economy, maybe day after tomorrow some other subject, and after 1 month they come back to geography again. Second class of geography after like 15 days or 1 month. I'm not very sure. The student was telling that. Here it is not like that. Geography first, it is completed. After the completion of one subject, we'll move to another subject. Right? Parallelly, we can do another subject, but the geography won't stop. It will continue, and another subject will also continue. But after completing one subject only, we move to another subject. So that will give you sense of satisfaction, completion. But again, as I'm saying, that is not the end. You have to keep referring back to standard textbooks. Don't buy Spectrum for history. In fact, I won't recommend that Indian Polity by Lakshmikant also. Personally, teachers would disagree, but I have never read that book. I will never read that book. There was one book, D.D. Basu, Durga Das Basu, Introduction to Indian Constitution. And two more books, Our Parliament and Our Constitution by Subhash Kashyap. Right. Our Parliament and Our Constitution by Subhash Kashyap. So try to read these three books for Indian polity. Lakshmikant you can buy. Keep referring it. It's mostly factual. It is not analytical. It doesn't make you think. Right. Whereas D.D. Basu book is analytical, it will make you think. Right. So in the upcoming mains, you will see that the most of the questions will force you to think, force you to analyze, comment. In the UPSC word, these words are called directive words in the question. Have you seen mains questions? I have seen mains questions of UPSC question papers. You see, there is a topic, and at the end of the topic, there is something called directive word. Critically analyze, critically comment, discuss, critically discuss. When they say critically, they want you to be more objective, not opinionated and one-sided answer. Examine, elucidate, enumerate, explain. So these are the directive words. Most of the questions are comment, analyze, and discuss. Most of the mains questions, and they require you to read primary textbooks, primary sources, where you actually see the analysis, and of course, editorials are also there. I'm talking about static books. So that for history also, one book by Bipin Chandra is there, and for ancient medieval, a book by Upinder Singh. She is the daughter of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Right. Ancient and early medieval history. Use them as references. You don't have to read end to end. When I say these books, you don't have to read end to end, but Bipin Chandra you can read end to end. There are two books: Struggle for India's Independence and India Since Independence, Post-Independent History, and the Modern History, Struggle for Independence, 1600 to 1947. So buy them, read them. See, in your good interest, I am telling all these things, right? So we have been telling, but I was not more specific about these things earlier, because the students, you belong to Gen Z, right? So we are scared of Gen Z people. So Gen Z ne born after 2000 mostly. Elru yaraದ್ರು idira before 2000 parents biಟ್ಟು 4-5 people are there. Good. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಜಾಬ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಜಾಬ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಬಂದಿರೋದು. ಜಾಬ್ ಹೌದಾ? ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ರಿಗ್ರೆಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು when you don't have chances, opportunities, right? Good. But do it right, do it correctly. ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, this is, see, whatever I am recommending in this orientation, this is not a very hard and difficult path. It is something you can enjoy, right? This is something you will actually love doing things. ಹಂಗಿರ್ಬೇಕದು, right? In fact, I was reading newspaper in the morning. I was, every day I love reading newspaper, right? I'm not writing any exam or anything, just, okay, partial digitization anta. So why partial digitization? How we can improve these scenarios? Thoughts keep coming up. And then the UPSC cut off the news bandite. Corner alli yesterday, it's not cut off. UPSC has released answer key and cut off allapa. Answer key. Right. So it has released that also. And when you read editorials, look for three things. Whenever you read editorials, you look for three things, right? One is the facts, right? Facts and data. What? WHAT, what? What? Facts and data. It can be number, it can be names, it can be places, it can be name of an act, name of a event, right? New facts or old facts, whatever it is, that is one day. Second one is the concepts. An editorial will introduce new concepts or bring the old concepts to make an argument, right? What are the concepts that it is using, right? Third one is the arguments, reasons, right? They will give arguments. These are the ideas or arguments, thoughts, we could say, right? And then lastly, it will have opinion. Identify largely what it is trying to convey. What is the opinion? What it is trying to tell us, inform us. When you're reading, it is not just random collection of stuff, right? At the end of the article, for example, this tariffs to carbon, the new rules shaping India's trade. What did it try to convey? Okay, correct. How it is going to impact India's trade. But in the end, what is the opinion? No, it's okay, good. So basically, the article tries to convey in the end the opinion that the CABM rules, right? So you will read about it later. I'm just giving general. Is unfair to developing countries like India, because when we want to import carbon intense products like fertilizers, when you want to produce fertilizer, you have to release lots of carbon, right? Because we depend on importing of lots of fertilizer. When somebody has to export those fertilizer, the CABM applies. The CABM is basically, it is extra cost, right? It is punishing those countries or companies because your emission is huge. So we are applying some kind of tax. So it becomes costly for India to import, right? And for Indian companies to adopt cleaner technologies. Namdon factory, the sugar factory, Namurali. Now it has to reduce the carbon emission. It has to totally upgrade, bring new technology, totally change the machinery and everything. They may not be having required capital or money, right? It is not just about one factory, it is about all India. So it is unfair to developing countries. So that is why there should be a middle path or something, is the opinion of the article. The EU should be fair, the India should also adapt, but should be given more time, something like this. So that is the opinion. So you have data, you have facts, data, and then you have some concepts, and then you have ideas and arguments, and then you have opinion. So you read any editorial, lastly you have these four components. So you try to gather those four components and try to make a small notes. If you do it every day, right, irrespective of what is taught in the classroom. In class only, they may be teaching geography, economy, whatever, or even art and culture. Now don't skip articles related to polity, economy, geography, thinking I don't understand anything. All of you are minimum 21-year-old, as far as I understand. right? Capable of understanding any concept by your own, hmm, by your own efforts. You are capable of doing this. It might take extra time for everyone, but don't have fear in your mind while learning, right? You know, why fear? Like when you are learning something, you are learning for what? Don't say exam. When it is for exam, the fear will be there. Suddenly, I'm not able to understand immediately. It is making me spend more time, and there are so many hundreds of things like this. How? Don't have any kind of fear. Give yourself time. It takes 1.5 years to build the perfect knowledge base for the entire examination. But after, like, if you persist with the newspaper for 3 to 4 months, then you will start enjoying, because most of the stories are continuous in nature. They're not like very random stories, right? You would have got the context, background story. You will know the context. So the newspaper reading will be fast and time saving also for you, for other purpose. So don't skip in the beginning. Similarly, answer writing. The most important thing you should be doing at Insight Says is answer writing, because our mentors are holding the red ink pen and waiting for you to come and show their answers all the time. Whenever I am here, I wait, for anyone to come and show their essay, mentors, answers and essays, and we see that you people don't want to write answers, most of you. Comfort zone. ಅದು ಪೆನ್ನು ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ಕು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಭೂಕಂಪ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ಮನೆ ಬಿದ್ದೋಗುತ್ತೋ, ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ರೋಗ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೋ, ರೈಟ್? I don't know why. I mean, why are you here? Why did you come to Bangalore? Why did you come to Insights in the first place? If you don't want to write answers, if you don't want to do writing practice, any reason, any excuse is lame excuse. It is invented excuse. The minding ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಿ. Tell your own mind that when it invents excuses, let me complete first, let me read first, let me make notes first, let me become perfect first, and then I will write. Tell your mind to shut up, right? I am here to become a topper, irrespective of whether I'm going to write bad answer, worst answer, only 2 lines or 3 lines. I'm going to put efforts and I'm going to do it. Only if you do it on a daily basis, right? Again, it will become a habit. You start enjoying writing. Eventually, you should be able to write 5 to 6 answers every day after 6 to 7 months. If you want to crack this examination in 1 or 2 attempts. Those who do integrated preparation, daily current affair quiz, our prelims test, mains tests, daily mains answer writing, I promise you, nothing can stop you from cracking preliminary examination, even if the paper is more difficult than the 26 paper. You see, there is a question on quantum computing, there is a question on large language model, there is a question on UPI, there is a question on whatever you keep hearing in the newspaper. Right? They haven't invented new topic, the UPSC. It is just they have become very specific unexpectedly, because people think that, I should not remember the fact. I'm UPSC aspirant, opinion is enough. Right? Why should I remember numbers, dates and facts? Right? So you have to remember dates. Tomorrow you are going to end up as a bureaucrat, right? Let us say you go to UN as an Indian foreign service officer or something. You should know the history of everything, right? So, for example, as we are speaking, Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. What is happening in Congo? Where is DRC? Democratic Republic of Congo. It is in Africa. It is in the Central Africa. It is in the thick jungles of which forest? Amazon. Congo River Basin, very good. So the rainforests of Africa, right? It spreads across from end to end, west coast to east coast. So Democratic Republic of Congo, what is happening there? Ebola, right? It has killed many people, and the World WHO chief, there is article. So he is very concerned about it. right? Because there is no health workers are at risk, right? There is a fear that it might explode. Now, if you are somebody who has to be informed, right? What is the history of Ebola? When was the last big, Ebola event? Last year, before last year, right? So if you have to give a informed opinion, you should also know the history of it, right? When we say which year, that year, what was the climate like? What was the world like, right? Another decade, what was it like, right? So the dates are also important. Some people will tell dates are not important, don't remember, right? So Harappan civilization, or the Vedic period, or Neolithic period, Chalcolithic period, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತೀರಿ ancient ಅಲ್ಲಿ. We have a wonderful teacher. So remember the dates also. It's perfectly fine. Remember dates, memorize dates, right? So in the beginning you memorize, once it becomes like a story. Once you enjoy the completeness of that particular, you'll naturally remember the dates also, right? It won't be like, for the examination purpose. So like that, you have to give importance to facts also, data also, and it comes with the perfect integration of mains, answer writing, and prelims. Prelims will mostly supply you the facts, data, and the concepts when you do daily practice. They are the building blocks of an answer. When you want to write an answer, you need concepts and facts. Opinion you will develop by reading, editorials and other stuff. And while answer writing, you will go to the depth of it, and the retention will be more. The reinforcement of whatever you learned will keep happening. The more you write, the better it is. And in the eventually in future, you integrate essay writing also, right? Essay writing requires separate reading of bit of philosophy and bit of psychology, and also bit of English literature. I'm very sure nobody, very sorry, but except one or two people, nobody has any kind of reading habit here. Books ಓದಿದ್ರು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೆ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿನ್, ಮಾಂಕು ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೆರಾರಿ. ನಾವೆಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಬ್ಬಬ್ಬ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಲ್ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲಿ? ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದೋ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ಯಾರಿಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಯು ರೀಡ್? ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬುಕ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಬಟ್ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ಓಕೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾವ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿರೋದು? ಗುಡ್, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರ್ದು? ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ? ಗಾಂಧಿದು ಓದಿಲ್ವಾ? ಮೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಟ್ರುತ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಪಿಕಪ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಶಿವರಾಮ್ ಕಾರಂತರು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲು, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಪೂರ್ಣಚಂದ್ರ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿ ಅವ್ರ ಬುಕ್ಸು, SL ಭೈರಪ್ಪ ಬುಕ್ಸು, ಯಶವಂತ್ ಚಿತ್ತಾಲ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ತರಾಸು ಅವ್ರ ಬುಕ್ಸು, ಬೀಚಿ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕೀಪ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ದಮ್. ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಯಾರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ? ನನಗೆ ನೆನಪಿರಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ರಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಯು ವೆಂಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಎ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಡ್ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ಯಾವ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಏನಾರು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ನೀವು ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಪೇಪರ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಜರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗಝಿನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ವುಡೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಈಗಲೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇಫ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇವನ್ ನೌ, ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಟು ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಟು ಬೈ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಪವರ್ಟಿ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಎನಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸಸ್. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಪದ್ಮ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ತಲ್ಲ ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ, ಮಂಡ್ಯದವರಿಗೆ, ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅವ್ರು ಬಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರಂತೆ. ನೌ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರೈಟ್? ನೀವು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದರೆ, ಈ ಅವೆನ್ಯೂ ರೋಡಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ಸಿಗ್ತವೆ ಚೀಪಾಗಿ, 5 ರೂಪಾಯಿ 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಿಗ್ತವೆ, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಆ ಥರದ ಜಾಗಗಳು ಇದ್ದಾವೆ ಮಲ್ಲೇಶ್ವರಮಲ್ಲೂ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಈ ಥರ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾರೋ ಜಾಗಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್. ಏನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಓದಿ, ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಮಲ್ಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಸ್ಲೀಪಿಂಗ್, ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಲೀಪ್, ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ನಾನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್, ಇವೆಂಚುಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ನಾನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್, ರೈಟ್. ನಾನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಬುಕ್ಸನ್ನ ಓದೋದನ್ನ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅವು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಅಲೈನ್ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ದ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್. ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದಿ, ರೈಟ್, ಗಾಂಧಿಯವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದಿ, ನೆಹರು ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿ. ನೆಹರು ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಅ ಗ್ಲಿಮ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಎ ಬುಕ್, ರೈಟ್. ಆಟೋಬಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಮೆನಿ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಈ ಥರ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂದ ಬಂದರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್? ವಿಷಯ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್. ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ whenever you are faced with uncertainty, you embrace it, right? Whenever you face a challenge, you get excited. ಎದುರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಅನ್ಸರ್ಟೆನಿಟಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎನ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ದೇರ್, ರೈಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಫೇಸ್ ಇಟ್, a new opportunity will open up and I will capitalize on it. So that is the growth mindset. It is never stopping. You should come with that growth mindset here, not closed mind, right? Keep a open mind. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್. ಈಗ ಅನ್ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಪೇಪರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಂದು. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಬೀನ್, ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಬಡ್ಕೊತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 16 ಐ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್, 2016 ಐ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಹೌ ದ UPSC is going. Take from me, in another 2 to 3 years it will become compulsory for you people to read ಅದರ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್. ಅವು ಏನು ಓದಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನೋ, ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಹಂಗಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಂಗಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ಲೆಸ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ಈಗ ಪೇಪರ್ ಒನ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬ್ರಾಡ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್? ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್. ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್, ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್, ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್, ರೈಟ್. ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕಲ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ವಿಲಿಯಂ ಡಾರ್ಲೈಂಪಲ್ ಅಂತಂದು ಒಬ್ಬರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮುಘಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮುಘಲ್ ಅಂತಂದು. ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಬುಕ್ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ರೋಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನೋ ಬುಕ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬೈ 1 or 2 ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೂ ಬೇಡ, 1-2 ಓದಿ ಸಾಕು. ಜಿಯೋ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಓದಿ. ಹೆನ್ರಿ ಕಿಸ್ಸಿಂಜರ್ ಅಂತಂದು, ಇವಾಗ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾ. ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕನೂ ಈ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಇನ್ ಶೇಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಮೇರಿಕನ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ಅವರು ಬುಕ್ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಸಿ ಅಂತಲೇ ಒಂದು ಟೈಟಲ್ ಇದೆ ಬುಕ್. ಪೇಪರ್ 2 ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಗೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು 15-20 ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್. 15 to ಓವರ್ 15 to 20 ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ದ GS ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್. ಪೇಪರ್ 4ಗೆ something related to moral philosophy, right? The Cave and Light ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್. ಪ್ಲೇಟೋ, ಸಾಕ್ರೆಟಿಸು, ಪ್ಲೇಟೋ, ಅರಿಸ್ಟಾಟಲಿಂದ ಶುರುವಾಗಿ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಬುಕ್. ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಔಟ್. ಏನಿದೆ 863 ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ನಂಬರ್ 1 reason, the very quality of answer rating and essay rating as optional answer rating has drastically dipped in the UPSC thanks to superficial material, the ready-made materials. Everybody reads the same, everybody repeats the same in their answers. No original reading, no original thoughts. So the UPSC is tired. That is major reason. But ನೀವು ಈ ಥರ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋದರೆ, ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದರೆ, eventually you will also see good jump in your marks, right? So it is not that competition tough ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡಿಪ್ಡ್. ಇಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಒಬ್ಬರಿಬ್ಬರಷ್ಟೇ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿರೋದು. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಗೋ ಟು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಒಂದು 5-6 ಜನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕೈ ಎತ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಹಂಗೇನೆ. ಲಕ್ನೋ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಜೈಪುರ್ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ವಿಚ್ ಎವರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಗೋ, ಜನರಲ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ declined. But if you have chosen this field, right, my sincere request, newspaper, reading books and writing. These 3 if you continue with every day, right, on a daily basis, ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಶ್ಯೂರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟಾಪ್ 5,000 ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ 5,000 ಜನದ ಮಧ್ಯೆನೇ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದು. And that number will further reduce because UPSC is not allowing IPS, IRS people to write again and again. Lucky for you people. ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು. So that number will again reduce. So you will be in the top 3,000-4,000 people. ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಡ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು. ಬಟ್ ನಾಳೆಯಿಂದ ನೀವು ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗೆ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ. ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಧರ್ಮ. It is my dharma to enlighten you, share all these things. But usually what happens, 99% of the people who are sitting here won't actually do whatever I have asked you to do. Because you bring that old university college mindset here. Right? Change that mindset. If you bring the same mindset, then PDO, FDA, SDA, ಆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಸಿ ಜಾಬ್ಸಿಗೆ. ರೈಟ್. ನೀವು ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಆಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಟು ಡೂ ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಡೈಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಸ್, ಇವನ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್, ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದರೆ ಯುವರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಿಗೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ನಾಲಿಟಿ. ರೈಟ್. ಅದು ಬರೀ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಎಕಾನಮಿ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್. ರೈಟ್. A transformation should happen through whatever I discussed. Right. ಹಂಗಿದ್ದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ we will actually sense the difference. ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ನಾಳೆ 1 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಾಗ ನೀವು ಬಂದಾಗ you will see the difference. And meet your mentors regularly. ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಡೇಸ್ ನೀವು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ನ, ಮೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಕಾಟ ಕೊಡೋದು? ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲಲ್ವಾ? ಲೈಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್, ಫುಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇದು. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರೋರಿಗೆ ಒಂದೇನಾರು ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್. Am I right or wrong? If I give some essay topic, if I ask you to, if I do that, experiment here, everyone's first sentence will be totally different. Second sentence will be different. Third sentence, entire essay will be different. ಮಧ್ಯ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ರೈಟ್. Who is going to judge it? Among all the essays, which is the good essay? Who is going to judge? Mentors. So if you come regularly, you will know, you will actually see bad essay becoming good essay after 6 to 8 months. Right. If you never come, the first essay you write after 8 months is your first bad essay, and from there it will take, provided you come regularly. But if you write once and then forget, another essay when you try after many months, that is still your bad essay. Even after knowing everything. Knowing everything is one thing, right? Even after knowing everything, you cannot write a good answer if you don't try again and again. It's a mental process. ನೀವು ಕಲಿತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. If you have to keep practicing, eventually the mind will learn how to extract the best out of all the knowledge you have and put it on the paper. And knowing is something else, and articulating, right, speaking about it is again different thing. You cannot talk about everything you know, right? When it comes to interview, Karnataka people fail largely in the interview stage. ನಾವು 9th ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಮುಗಿತದಲ್ಲ, 9th ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಮುಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. 10th ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪರು, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಟಾಪರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗು, ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್, ಆಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್. 11th 12th ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಜೈಲ್ಸು, ನೀಟ್ ಜೈಲು ಯಾವೋ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯ ತುಂಬ, ಇಡೀ ದೇಶ ತುಂಬ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೋಗಿ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೂಮ್ಮೇಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಬಾರಿ ತಿಂಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಮಾತಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಂಡು ಶಂಟೆಡ್ ಆಯ್ತದು, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. 12th ಆಯಿತು. 12th ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಬಟ್ಟೆ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ, ನೀಟು ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಅವು ಇವು ಅಂತಂದು. ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ತಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಡಿಯೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು. ರೈಟ್, ಹಂಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಲೈಫ್. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಬರ್ಡ್ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಅದನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಳಿಸಲ್ಲ. ಹತ್ರನೇ ಇರೋ ನಮ್ಮೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದು ಅದನ್ನೂ ಗಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್. ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್, ದ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಯಾಚುರೇಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಿಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಈ ಏನು ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚೂಸನ್. ಅದು ಏನು ಥಾಟು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ವೈ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಸೂಯಿಂಗ್ BCom ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್, ಜಾಬಿಗೆ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಜಾಬ್, ನಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರ್ದು ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇಟ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತದು. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮೆಡಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಟಾಪರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮೇ ಬಿ ವಿಲ್ ನೋ ಫ್ಯೂ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಲಿ ಎವೋಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದು, ರೈಟ್. ಆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ನ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ತರಬೇಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟುಡೇ ಆನ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್, ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಅ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಜರ್ನಿ. ಕೀಪ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್, have growth mindset, enjoy learning, right. Keep growing. From one day to another day there must be difference. Truth ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದ ಟ್ರೂತ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯೆಂಟ್, ದ ಟ್ರೂತ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯೆಂಟ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕದು. ಅದನ್ನು ನಂಬಿ, ಯು ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳೋದು, ನಮ್ಮವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತಂದು. ಅದು ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯೆಂಟು, ರೈಟ್. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಅಪೀಲ್ ಟು ಯು. ಕಂಫರ್ಟ್ ಝೋನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಕಂಫರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಎಂಬ್ರೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೂತ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಗಾನ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಕನ್ವೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಲಿ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಬಾಟ್ನಿ, ಝುವಾಲಜಿ, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್, ಸಿವಿಲ್, ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್, ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೆಮ್. ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಸಾಕು. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ ಇಯರ್, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ಲಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ 6 to 7 hours ಆನ್ ದೆಮ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. Zero utility in mains for other GS papers. Every hour spent on those optional is hour taken away from your general studies preparation, because they are also your zero, alva. Only if you have done post graduation in agriculture, in law, in medical science, then maybe you can think about medical science, agriculture and law as your option. Post graduation ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, or maybe law ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಲಾ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂದ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಲಾ, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಲಾ, ರೈಟ್. ತುಂಬ ಟಾಪ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ಪಾಸ್ಔಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಕಾಮರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಯು ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆಲ್, ಯುವರ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್, ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಡೆಪ್ತ್, you are going to repeat more than double effort here, mostly through self learning, because you lack the guidance. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಟರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ irrespective of your background, sociology, anthropology, Kannada literature is really good, public administration, okay. And in this list, lastly I would like to put geography, psychology, history, philosophy. Don't even think about them, right. Psychology, again, if you have done post graduation, maybe you can go with it. History, absolutely don't think about it. right? It's not a good optional. Philosophy, absolutely not. Read philosophy for ethics paper, essay paper, but don't take it as your optional. Okay. These are the guidance. And you may have a question, can I crack prelims next attempt? Right? No. I mean, you can crack if you give 14 to 16 hours. In an integrated way, if you're prepared. Answer writing, 4 to 5 answers, daily 20, 30 MCQs. All your concepts and basics are very strong. And we will try to complete syllabus by next February. And in a time-bound manner, regularly you revise everything. Maybe you are in a position to crack. But that won't stop there only, right? As I was speaking in the beginning, newspaper, bit of extra reading, watching good documentaries, podcast, all collectively will help you. Merely completing the classes will not prepare you for the preliminary examination. Be very clear. It is going to give you concept. But the specificity, the depth, analytical part comes with answer writing, extensive reading, right? So if you do that regularly, it is fine. My suggestion is that even if you are prepared for prelims, you won't be prepared totally for the mains also. Optional is difficult to manage. So aim for the 28 examination, your batch. From this batch onwards, my personal recommendation, go slow, steady way. Aim for the 28 examination. Try to get rank in that one attempt. So by June, you will be done with everything. Coaching, classes, optional, everything. From then onwards, we have something called core batch. Daily practice. You will get a wonderful peer group. So you can discuss, you can write daily, sharpen your skills, right? Gain lots of depth in all the key topics. So I think 28 is the first attempt that you are looking at, and my personal recommendation. Many people think I have many attempts. Okay, some people have given attempt this Sunday and have come also for admission. So it's not a mistake, but it is wonderful when you go to interview in your first attempt, right? I think the board will appreciate. So have that kind of ambition rather than wasting attempts thinking that you want experience, right? The paper, if whether it is written in the UPSC all or outside the UPSC all, the same paper. You'll get the paper 10 minutes after the exam, download, come sit in the classroom and write. Why waste attempt for it, right? So wish you all the best. And once again, welcome to Inside Size. I hope I haven't scared you. ಭಯ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಭಯ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? But I hope you got the clarity, right? ಹಂಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ, ರೈಟ್? ನಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಬೇಡಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿ, ಸಾರಿ, ಹಂಗೆ ಇರಬೇಡಿ. ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಬುಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾಲಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಬುಕ್ಕು. ಸೊ ಐ ವುಡ್ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು, ರೈಟ್? ಶಶಿ ತರೂರ್ದು ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಆ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಂತಂದು ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಶಶಿ ತರೂರ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿ, ನಾನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಆ ಲೈಫ್, ಶಶಿ ತರೂರ್, ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧಿದ್ ಮೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಟ್ರೂತ್, ರೀಡ್ ದಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ರೈಟ್? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶಶಿ ತರೂರ್ ಅವರೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬುಕ್ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಐ ಗಿವ್ ದಿ ಟೈಟಲ್. ಸೊ ಅವರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಬುಕ್, ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್, ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬುಕ್, ಅವರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ, ಅವರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್. He has written commentary on constitution, right? So we were discussing about analysis, critical thinking, right? You will get that, something that you will never get in Lakshmikant, right? ಸೊ ಆ ಬುಕ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇವಾಗಲೇ ತಗೊಂಡು ಓದಿ. ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಪಾಸ್, ಡೂ ಬಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್, ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಮೂವ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್. ನೀವು ಇವಾಗ ಫೋಕಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅನದರ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್, ವಿತ್ ಅಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ದ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕೀಪ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್. ಬುಕ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ, ಏನೋ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಅದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನೋ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನೋ, ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರೈಂಟ್, ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದಿನ ಏನೋ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎಡಿಟೋರಿಯಲ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮುಗಿದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿ ಅದ್ರ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೆಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಅದು ಮುಗಿಯೋ ತನಕ ಆ ಝೋನಲ್ಲಿರಿ. ಆ ಝೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಮೇಕ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಇವೆಂಚುಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು UPSC ಅಂತ. ಇವಾಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ನೀವು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ ಏನೋ ಕ್ಯೋಟೋ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಕಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಆಯಿತಾ. ಪ್ಯಾರಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮೇಟ್ ಡೀಲ್ ಅಂತಂದು ಏನೋ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಇವು ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರಲ್ಲ ಮೇ ಬಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ರ್ಯಾಷಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಸನ್ ಅಂತ, ಅದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಪಾಪಪ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿನೂ ಹೆಸರು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ಅರ್ತ್ ಸಮ್ಮಿತ್ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ರಿಯೋ ಸಮ್ಮಿತ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್. ಅದು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ 3ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ಡ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಯಾಸಿಟಿ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಫ್ಯೂಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ವೆನ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ, ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕರೇಜ್ ಟು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ದಟ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು, ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಯಾರೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಹೊಡೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಎನಿವೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕೇಳಿ. ಎಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್? ಹ್ಞೂ 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 Like you took coaching for history. Okay. And then have you written mains? How was your preparation when you were preparing history then? You made notes. Have you solved all PYQs? Previous year mains questions. Hmm. Okay. Better you change. Hmm? Right. So even in 20s also it was not working. Even now also it will not work. See, I'll tell you why. Okay. History requires vast reading. There are so many standard books that has to be read for history optional compared to, let us say, political science or anthropology. There are literally so many books you have to read, the recommended books. Most of the people don't read those books. Again, they go with the coaching notes. So people who come to evaluate history optional, they are pissed off because the answer is superficial, very factual. That won't get you marks also. And in optional, what is happening? There is no innate advantage in any optional anymore. Earlier, people would take maths thinking they would score 370, 380. Now, even they are also not able to score 300 plus. If you see top 10 rankers, optional marks, they are in 260, 255, 270, 285. All India rank 1 also, the optional score is around 280, 285. Right. So my suggestion is, 5 to 6 months effort which you put should be able to get you around 250 marks. Effort less, but again, optional, do read standard textbooks. Don't solely rely on the coaching institutions, because you're not in touch with the optional like past 3-4 years, right? 3 years. So it is as good as starting afresh, even if you start with history. So put the same effort with, sociology or something. Sociology ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. Okay. Any doubts? ಏನilva doubts? Good. So, summary. What is the summary of this session? ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ? In 1 minute if you want to summarize. Last bench ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರೋರು. Can anyone summarize in 1 minute whatever I talked for, I think 1 hour or 2 hours? ಎಲ್ಲ ಮರ್ತೋಯ್ತಾ? Hmm? Hmm. So if I will summarize, okay, it is the journey of your total transformation, have growth mindset, do the fundamental things with consistency and extensive reading of newspapers, other books, original textbooks, and also writing practice on a daily basis for next 1 year till June. Continuously, like first year, when you start something from zero, scratch, right? ನೀವು ಯಾರನ್ನಾರು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಹಾಕಿರೋರನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ. ಹ್ಞೂ somebody has started from scratch and succeeded ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 1 or 2 years ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ವುಡ್ ಹವ್ poured everything into it, right? Sleepless nights, lots of hours into it without worrying about the outcome, right? That attitude you should bring here. So in the beginning, don't slip into comfort zone, don't seek comfort, give everything you have. Once you have got the solid ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್, ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಲೈಕ್ 2028 ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಟೂ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಜಾಬು ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಗೇನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್, ಓಪನ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್, ಬಟ್ ಹಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಕ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, MIT ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. MIT ಅಂದರೆ ಗುಡ್. ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ಯಾರೋ ಮಣಿಪಾಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟು, ಮೈಸೂರು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟು, ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಸೊ ಮೆಸಾಚುಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, MIT ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಬಂತು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ, ಪಾಪಪ್ ಆಯಿತು. ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಾಂಪ್ಟ್ ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತೆ, ವೈಬ್ ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತೆ, ಡೇಟಾ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತೆ, ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದೋಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ IITs, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಲಾ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್, IASC ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾದರೂ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎರಡನೇದು ಜಾಬ್. ಯಾವ ಜಾಬ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ನೆವರ್ ಇವನ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಜಾಬ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 1.5 ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೀಪ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟೆಡ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೌ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವೀಕೆಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಸಮ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರ್ತೀರಿ, AML ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಡೇಟಾ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಸೈನ್ಸು, ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್, ಸಿವಿಲ್, ಅದರದ್ದು ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದರದ್ದು ಸಮ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ತುಂಬ ಫುಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗವಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೊಸ ಹಾಬಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ರೈಟ್? ರೀಡಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟಿಂಗ್, ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಓದೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಬಂತು. ಫಿಲಾಸಫರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತೆ. AI ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹೈರಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫರ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕಿರ್ಬೋದು? ವೈ ಆರ್ ದೇ ಹೈರಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫರ್ಸ್, AI ಕಂಪನೀಸ್? ಟು ಟ್ರೈನ್ AI ಇನ್ ವಾಟ್? Philosophy. No, not in, of course, that is there in, it's not about workers, it is for the machines. It is for AI itself, ethics for AI. We have to train in, right, what is right and what is wrong, right? We have to give it reasoning also, solid philosophical reasoning, right? For ethics, before you start with the classes, I would recommend you to watch a video series by Michael Sandel. What is the right thing to do? These are the Harvard lectures. ಇದು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಪ್ಪ ಇದು.
Funding for this program is provided by
What is the right thing to do?
Additional
Episode 1.
funding provided
The moral side of murder. So just 1 minute nodi. It's a Harvard classroom. There he does the conversation discussion about one series ಇದೆ. Actually, if you watch all these videos, in the ethics syllabus, the foundation second.
This is a course
Wonderful
about
videos.
justice, and we begin with a story. Suppose you're the driver of a trolley car, and your trolley car is hurtling down the track at 60 miles an hour. And at the end of the track, you notice 5 workers working on the track. You try to stop, but you can't. Your brakes don't work. You feel desperate because you know that if you crash into these 5 workers, they will all die. Let's assume you know that for sure. And so you feel helpless until you notice that there is, off to the right, a side track. And at the end of that track, there's one worker working on the track. Your steering wheel works, so you can turn the trolley car, if you want to, onto the side track, killing the one, but sparing the 5. Here's our first question. What's the right thing to do? What would you do? Let's take a poll. How many would turn the trolley car onto the side track? Raise your hands. How many wouldn't? How many would go straight ahead? Keep your hands up, those of you who would go straight ahead. A handful of people would. The vast majority would turn. Let's hear first. Now we need to begin to investigate the reasons why you think it's the right thing to do. Let's begin with those in the majority who would turn to go onto the side track. Why would you do it? What would be your reason? Who's willing to volunteer a reason? Go ahead, stand up.
Because it can't be right to kill 5 people when you can only kill 1 person instead.
It wouldn't be right to kill 5 if you could kill 1 person instead. That's a good reason. That's a good reason. Who else? Does everybody agree with that reason? Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking it's the same reason on 9/11 with regard to people who flew the plane into the Pennsylvania field as heroes because they chose to kill the people in the plane and not kill more people in big buildings.
So the principle there was the same on 9/11, the tragic circumstance, but better to kill 1 and so that 5 can live. Is that the reason most of you had, those of you who would turn? Yes? Let's hear now from those in the minority, those who wouldn't turn. Yes?
Well, I think that's the same type of mentality that justifies genocide and totalitarianism. In order to save one type of race, you wipe out the other.
So what would you do in this case? You would, to avoid the horrors of genocide, you would crash into the 5 and kill them?
Presumably, yes.
You,
Yeah.
okay, who else? It's a brave answer. Thank you. Let's consider another trolley car case and see whether those of you in the majority want to adhere to the principle, better that 1 should die so that 5 should live. This time, you're not the driver of the trolley car, you're an onlooker. You're standing on a bridge overlooking a trolley car track. And down the track comes a trolley car. At the end of the track are 5 workers. The brakes don't work. The trolley car is about to careen into the 5 and kill them. And now, you're not the driver. You really feel helpless until you notice standing next to you, leaning over the bridge, is a very fat man. And you could give him a shove. He would fall over the bridge onto the track, right in the way of the trolley car. He would die, but he would spare the 5. Now, how many would push the fat man over the bridge? Raise your hand. How many wouldn't? If you're right, he's wrong.
Okay. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಾ? Did you? Was it interesting? The last question. Pushing the fat man, saving the 5. Right. So these are the moral questions. In ethics case studies, of course, directly these kind of questions are not asked. But here, in the end, we will talk about the idea of utilitarianism. There is something called deontology. Duty is means are more important than the ends. Ends are more important than the means. And then we will talk about all the philosophers. Right. So he engages, and then he will teach you all the moral philosophy, which you can use in your ethics answers. So ಆ ಥರ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ you people are so lucky that you are living in a time where you can access. So Michael, we cannot invite Michael Sandel to come here and teach ethics, right? But he has already taught. It is available, right? So we have Umesh sir, who specializes in ethics and essay. He also has the same mentality. He is an English literature postgraduate. He has read lots of books. He keeps talking about books. Ethics, he has read lots of moral philosophy. So you don't have to go to any place. You have people here to rightly guide you and take the guidance on a regular basis. So definitely you will on a right path towards your success. Okay. Thank you. All the best. We have a small tradition of giving chocolates for every new batch students. So they will distribute chocolate. Welcome chocolate. Okay. Thank you.